is the year 2005. The treacherous Decepticons have conquered the Autobots' home planet of Cybertron. Cybertrons! Of Cybertron. Cybertrons! Of Cybertron. Of Cybertrons! 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 Cybertrons! Of Cybertron. Cybertrons! Of Cybertron.
We now return you to the Children of Primus.
I have returned.
You have returned. We'll have my mic going, but welcome everyone to another episode of the Children of Primus.
Oh, look, who's this cracking his knuckles? Who's this fresh meat?
Hey. Chill it, Toy Warp.
Oh, man. He knows the names.
There we go. Camera is back. But how are you guys doing?
Good, just got back from vacation.
Nice.
Vacation, what's that like?
Tiring.
I guess. Oh, no, man, I ain't been on vacation forever. Deceptikitty.
You guys,
He has returned.
Well, we're all here. Our main topic tonight is buying Transformers. Is there a limit? Is there too many to buy? It's our discussion will be on that. Before we get into that, James Cameron says, "Hey guys, I only limit collecting Transformers Legacy to only get G1, some B Spores, Armada, and some multiverse versus gotta save cash for groceries and topping up my cell and smartphones." And Dude Wilson says, "I'm finally catching a live stream. YouTube unsubscribed me a while back. It's rude of them. I just recently resubscribed. Thank you for being back." Freakenstein shouts out to Duke, and Duke shouts out to Freak.
James, thanks for resubscribing. It do be happening like that sometimes.
Yeah, it's I think YouTube understands that we're telling the truth about Transformers. So we're like, unsubscribe to these guys.
That's really tough. I got a huge problem with that with cruisers.
Oh.
A huge problem. Like people I know that have been subscribed since the beginning. They've probably had, some of them have had to resubscribe like 4 or 5 times.
Interesting.
And I'll notice too, like on the subscriber count, it'll be like so many, and then I'll check it later in the day, and it'll be like 6, 7 down.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know YouTube does go through and like delete the fake accounts or accounts that probably haven't been active in 10 plus years,
Right.
things like that. But at the same time, I've got friends that say, I don't know how it happened, but I unsubscribed to you, or the notification bell doesn't work. I keep having to hit the notification bell. So, guys, if you're subscribing and hitting the notification bell and everything, keep up on it, and we thank you very much for it. Absolutely.
We do. Yeah, we do. Thank you. And yeah, and again, aside from just our channel, everyone else who's within our realm of friends, we list everybody's channels in the description. So, Toy Warp, Deceptikitty, Prime DYNAMIXX, like everyone, Impact, we're going to start including your link in our description. And, and everyone share that love, subscribe to everyone's channels, comment, like their videos. And just it's a cool community of everyone just getting together and sharing their opinions.
And you know what they say about opinions.
Don't you start it, Toy Warp.
Don't.
All
right. Anyway, yeah, tonight's subject seems
Mr.
very
Magnus.
interesting, actually. I can't wait to be getting into this.
Mr. Magnus.
Mr. Magnus has returned.
In the building.
Yes.
Our topic is actually kind of derived from Magnus being the guest speaker at OMG Con this weekend. How was that today?
It was good. We didn't have many. We had 4 people. At 11 o'clock when the con stops at 3 a.m., it's rough to get people back out of the hotels that early. But we had a few stragglers come in. We ended up with like 12 at the end of it.
That's Magnus pulling in the big numbers.
There you go.
That's right.
Thanks for coming to my TED Talk, all dozen of you.
But no, it was a great con, as always.
What kind of con goes till 3 in the morning?
Some select few.
That's the dance party. The dance party starts at 10 and goes until the people don't want to dance no more.
Wow, okay, jeez.
Yeah, we left at like 12:30.
Okay.
Yeah, I was raved out. But they call it the rave, not rave, because if you call it a rave, then people identify it as a place for drugs and everything else. So they call it the rave, not rave, or the OMG dance party. And if you follow any animes and whatnot, Greg Ayers, who is a voice actor, a celebrity voice actor, he's actually the guy that does the DJing for us.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's his equipment. He comes down there and does the dance party for us every year.
That's very cool.
Monkey.
What I've noticed about a lot of the cons, like around here, Georgia, they've kind of been taken over by the late anime stuff. Was your con a lot like that?
Our con is an anime con.
Oh, it is an anime con. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Gotcha.
that's its focal point.
Okay.
But Transformers is considered an anime, the original.
Right.
And so there's a big following for that. I've got some pictures here I'm going to send to Spin to show. My daughter was, of course, cosplaying as her and her best friend were cosplaying as Blaster and Soundwave on Friday, and then she was walking around in her Grimlock costume on Saturday and Sunday.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see these.
I'm
they're
planning
awesome.
to become lockdown for one of these chances whenever I get to go to another TFCon after the next one I'm going to in August.
They did a real good job. Let me go ahead and get that over to Spin real quick.
Also,
Impactor, speaking about the next TFCon that you mentioned in August, which town is that one going to be in?
it's going to be in Pennsylvania. I gotta think. I'm thinking of where it is.
Oh, so Spin, I'm also going to send a video.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I'm trying to think.
The 501st, which is our local stormtrooper group, one of their guys built this, and it's phenomenal. And he gave me the STL files. And so by the convention of next year, I will have one. So sending that.
Also,
It's an 18-second video, but this thing is life size. This is a 1-to-1 scale. You're gonna love it, Deceptikitty. You're gonna love it because it's 80% 3D printed.
I love how he was hiding behind his arm. The Deceptikitty's like, what?
Deceptikitty's starting to jump up.
And as we're waiting for that, Frankenstein mentions in the comments 29 more days till TFCon Toronto. So
yeah, get ready.
All those in the Toronto, Mississauga areas that surround Toronto, or even if you're closer to the Detroit, Buffalo areas, come down then to TFCon Toronto.
Hope you got your hotel room booked.
It's true.
So I sent everything to you in Messenger.
Okay, I see. I think the video is still uploading, but I see the 2 pictures. So I'm going to open those up.
Also, I need a suggestion from you guys for like what I should do for lockdown. Should I do animated lockdown, G1 lockdown, or should I do Bayverse lockdown because I have all the colors?
Animated.
You'll never hear me tell you to do anything with Bayverse except throw it in the garbage.
How dare you, Mr. Magnus? I grew up with Bayverse.
Animated.
Yeah, I like this. I like this this back and forth here. Which is unfortunately, because our travel plans didn't work out over the weekend, my girl and I, we decided we're gonna go watch a movie, and we went to see Bad Boys 4. Actually, it wasn't too bad. Didn't watch 3 because I heard 3 was not that great, but 4.
Yes, Runabout.
Yeah, I guess if 4 was still produced by Michael Bay, it's there's a scene where he's actually in it, and I'm like, I'm not surprised he didn't put himself in the movie, and the usual.
You can't forget about Transformers 07.
Yeah, the usual overextended explosions and this and that, and I'm like, classic Bay, but overall the movie was good. We enjoyed it.
Also, did you guys hear about?
I'm looking at the comments, and I noticed that Freak is with us right now. So I just want to say that Freak, I did plug you at the convention as one of the toy reviewers, as well as Deceptikitty for 3D printing and vintage toy reviews, and all of the Children of Primus. Everybody got a nice plug for the 11 people that were watching, but but there were people actually writing stuff down. We went over a lot of do's and don'ts. Of course, the main point that I put out was impulse buying. Don't see something and immediately go after it. Do your research. Make sure it's not a KO. Make sure it's an original. Try and meet in person. And that was one of the biggest questions that we got was, well, how do we know? How can we tell? And that's when I was like, so you go over to these guys, and most of them have. Yeah, you go over to Children of Primus. You go to a lot of YouTube reviews, and when I brought up YouTube, I brought up Frankenstein, Fear and Courage, Children of Primus, Deceptikitty. Check all these guys out. A lot of them do a lot of side-by-sides. I personally do some side-by-sides. And just, do your homework before you spend $200 on something you could have got from Temu for $25.
Yeah.
I'm happy at least I got these guys
the big thing.
What's SETTOM holding up there? Is that Runabout and Runamuck?
Yeah, yeah, that's I need to get Runabout and Runamuck. I'm so stupid for not getting Runabout. I had the chance to get him on my birthday, and I did not get him, and I do not know why.
And what are the chances of getting him now?
Yeah.
The chances of getting him now for cheap are a little hard now with how.
You won't get him for under $60.
Wow.
The only way you're getting him for under $60 is if you win him in an auction on eBay or somewhere else.
Yep, I'll agree with that. And for a while, he was going for $100 as the minimum right now on eBay. Last I checked, it was like $120. I didn't pay that much for him, but that was only
so do they?
Double-digit
they look really good. SETTOM. Do they transform into a Trans Am and a Ferrari 308?
I guess so. I'm not a car guy.
Lucky person.
So how much? Sorry.
Them being in the box right there, if he could sell them for a good chunk of money, and I mean a good chunk.
Interesting.
Yeah, Snarl was the other birthday present.
Wait on.
So we catch up on the comments. Let's see. So after Freakenstein mentioned that we have 20 more days, 29 more days to TFCon Toronto. Duke Nukem says, I wish Transformers conventions would come to my part of the US. Duke, which part of the US are you in? And Freak, he's been ready for months. And it also says, don't worry, you'll have a chance to win a TFCon exclusive since you've subscribed. And also says, thanks, bro. Shout out to Magnus. Says, thanks, bro, for your true bot. I appreciate it. Duke Nukem says, thanks. And Rev Rat's right. Howdy, howdy to our war panel and chat. Just got home from vacation and feeling great.
Right on.
Freakenstein says, as to the topic, I say 3 of each would be amazing. And I mean every bot ever made.
Brian.
I think we have some
close.
proof from well, we have the proof.
So how much would Ross and Ollie's come into play when you have to when you're talking about impulse buying and shopping around type of thing?
Well, I mean that's not a place that you're going to get a key out. Ross and Ollie's are overstock redistribution places.
Okay,
that's where shelf warmers from Walmart, Target, any of your big box stores, stuff that actually survives their clearance aisles, gets shipped to a distribution hub, and then they're scattered out throughout Ross and Ollie's. That was actually another subject that we brought up, was where can you find the cheaper stuff?
Okay, that's cheaper stuff, but there's still a limit on, depending on what your budget is, because that cheap stuff can become an addiction too, and you can break yourself buying bulks of that stuff as much as you can, trying to buy 1 or 2 big pieces.
There's a reason why it was a shelf warmer. And at the same time, just this past Christmas, the Ark was at Ross for $50. And it was because of Hasbro's distribution. They sent tons of them to this area over here, but this area here didn't get any.
Right.
And so they shelf warmed at this store. Then they went to clearance rack on this store. Then they got shipped back to the redistribution hub, and then they got shipped out to Ollie's and to Ross centers. And those places actually got them distributed around to places that didn't have them at the big box stores.
See, that's the logical move, because I think within the last 2-3 years, during that lockdown, COVID and everything, and just seeing people posting more in terms of finding characters in the stores. One region and mostly in the States, you would see this, like where, say, in the Eastern region, you'll see a certain character and there'll be like 50, 60 of them on the shelf. But then everyone on the other end of the country is like, we're not even getting one of these characters. So it's exactly as you said, the distribution, they'll send all of it to one side of the country. And, a handful of people buy them. The rest are sitting there. Everyone on the other end of the country, like, they're not getting them. And that kind of feeds into that whole scalper mentality of like, well, you guys in the West aren't getting any. I've got 50 of them sitting here. Let me buy all 50 and oversell them, to you guys. But then, I mean, there is the community of the honest collectors and everyone. And then, yourself, all of us, and also like, say, Prime DYNAMIXX. He was looking for the Galaxy shuttle, couldn't find it in the States. And I'm like, well, there's a handful of them sitting up here in Toronto. Oh, just pay me the shipping and the cost for it. That's it. No reason to overcharge and and scalp people.
Are there still some Galaxy shuttles where you are?
No, that was it. Because kind of, I guess, as the word came out that they stopped making them, people started slowly just buying them out. But I was surprised to see a few of them on the shelf, and I'm like, hey, people are looking for those. I'll grab them for you.
That's where it comes in handy.
Setttom, are you still there? Okay, I see you now. You were just holding up your gears. Did you buy that in a store, or was that a special order?
It was just Amazon. I didn't pay shipping or anything.
Amazon's just selling them.
They have not hit the stores here in my area yet.
Interesting.
He's hit the stores, but he keeps on being picked over. So, like, I'll see chromias left, some shards. I think it's just 3 of them this wave. So, I mean, he's been in my area, but he's never in there when I'm in the shop at Myers. You might have those in your state since you're the next state over from me. But that's where I had luck. The best luck finding the deluxes for United so far, because that's where I got like Windblade and her wave mates as well.
Also, who here saw the recent G1 re-release for Legacy United, Optimus and the Slipstream? Because I am definitely.
You mean the G1 Optimus?
Yeah, the G1 Optimus. Because
yeah, that looks cool.
I'm 100% buying that thing, and I am going. I have Earthrise Prime, and I will take that axe, give it to him, and then just paint that thing gold and do a G1 episode redo of the golden episode, and maybe, and we'll Slipstream. I'm 100% buying mainly for the animated reason,
right on,
because I can turn her into animated Slipstream.
Talking about Golden Lagoon.
Mm-hmm. It's really cool that they're releasing that. All after they've already announced the missing link thing, and that's like up for contention. Although it's completely different size scales, you might just go for the budget one, the deluxe one, instead of the missing link Japanese Takara one. But
also, I'm excited with how RID's now with their whatever, I forget what type of brand it is, but the Ultra Magnus and Optimus thing for RID is soon. HasLab. Their HasLab custom and all that. I'm excited to try and maybe see if I can get that thing. And with how Sideburn has now been released, I have a high suspicion with how Legacy's doing everything. Hopefully they'll redo these guys in the eventual future with how we are getting combiners. Because I finally, back when I got back home today from everything from the camp, I got Wedge. And now I did a stop motion, basically, of the entire combining scene. Yeah. And so I have, now all 4 of them. All complete. And these 2 I got for free due to Christmas. And then, Grimlock I bought a few weeks ago. And, Wedge I got from my parents.
Nice. Decepticitty, are you eating cereal?
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me crunching? I got some golden grams.
Nom. Yeah, pouring it into the bowl and
video loaded. Video loaded.
If it wasn't for me right now, I'd be eating cereal too. But I want to join you guys because you guys are very funny, and I like the crazy conversations that go on in this place.
Thank you. So,
does somebody want to introduce me to the fresh meat? I don't know. I thought I saw him in an earlier
Toy Warp. I have been coming to this thing for at least maybe a few weeks.
I have been sick for a month, dude.
I've been coming here for at least maybe 3 or 4 weeks.
That's about how long I was sick. So, fresh meat. Explain to us who you are, just for other people watching that may not know.
IMPACTOR Productions, very long wanting to be YouTuber, stop motion animator, very beginning of my glory days of being a good stop motion animator.
Okay.
And also, when I got that, basically, this is what my goal was this morning when I got home. Just let it play because this thing's going to be... you're kidding me. I hate how Stop Motion Studios gives me problems, but here it is.
Maybe we can have spin up the actual video here because that's not coming through very well.
That's too much.
Cool. Yeah.
I couldn't do all
on that device.
Yep. I send it to my mother figure, and then she sends it to me via my Gmail, and then I post it basically.
Nice.
That's how I've done basically. I've been doing stop motions for at least a few years, and this is 2nd year going. I started back in June 2023 and moved on from now basically. I've been doing stop motions for a while.
I want to bring it back to distribution because I was thinking we don't have that problem really in Canada. We have two distributors. We have Hasbro themselves, which is only located in Montreal. Although there's a headquarters, and I could probably see it from here if I had binoculars. There's headquarters here, but they don't ship anything out from over here. Everything gets shipped out.
You live right next to Hasbro headquarters?
Canada, Hasbro headquarters, Canada, yeah.
And also, do I see G1 Transformers right behind you?
Yes. Countdown to Extinction, or is Transport to Oblivion's playing right now? So we have that one. It's in Longueuil, and then there's Everest Games, which is also in Ontario, and they ship to all the stores all over across Canada. So everyone would relatively get things about the same time, except I guess BC might get things a week late, something like that. But also there is Quebec is a funny contingency, whereas everything has to have French on the packaging. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to the Takara exclusives, and I'm thinking back to the Masterpiece Soundwave, they didn't release that in the Toys R Us in Quebec because it didn't have the French language on it. So I was living in Montreal all the time, and I'm like waiting on the edge of my seat, going to Toys R Us every single day, sometimes twice a day.
Toys R Us still?
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Yeah, we have Toys R Us.
Yeah, Canada
we have at least maybe 3 Toys R Us is still here, but mine closed a very long time ago. I was at least lucky enough to go there beforehand. I got Barricade. I went to this Toys R Us 2 times. I got Berserker and I got Barricade, and I don't know why I didn't get Broadside because it's the biggest mistake of my life because he's one of the very expensive wreckers. Not to mention, I should put him now on my TFCon list for characters I need for the wreckers. Because the Last Day of the Wreckers Twin Twist is all good and all, but I prefer the original colors for him. So I'm going to try and get Trigger Happy, Twin Twist, Top Spin, and now that I remember now, Broadside, I'll have to put all 4 of those onto my list at TFCon.
Right on.
Cool. Now,
is that a Dr. Wu box art?
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Deceptikitty.
I was asking box art there. Was that a Dr. Wu you had there? It is. Can't see quite what character that is.
The sword dancer, slam dance.
Oh, slam dance. Oh, yeah. Yeah, right on. Cool.
Back on his one head gun. Well,
I want to get Slam Dance in that. I want to get him along with that side swipe pack. I want to eventually get that.
Yeah, I have that. That's a pretty nice pack. The art for the box is nice. I rarely keep boxes. That's one time I have.
I've been keeping my boxes mainly for the stop motion reasons because I need something to keep them up. Unless I'm gonna have to try and figure out what the heck I use basically for holding stuff basically because at one point before I never started using boxes, I used stuffed animals, Gatorade bottles. I was using everything I had to keep up everything.
Speaking of Gatorade
Can you
bottles,
not use actual figure stands?
Not figure stands, but as something to hold up my backgrounds, my paper and everything to use.
Oh.
Though Gatorade bottles I would paint basically silver or in some type of color or use them clear basically for flying stands sometimes. That was the only time I ever used those in general.
Those look like the G1s. Holy cow.
Did those pictures and videos come through yet?
Don't be fooled, Deceptikitty. Don't be fooled.
Yeah, they're the size of the Legacy and WFC trilogies.
Also, I need suggestions on where I can find an Earthrise sideswipe because I've been searching my eBay and a bunch of my other sources, and I've had no luck.
He was in the 2-pack.
Yeah, I know he's in the 2-pack, but I'm trying to find out where I can find it. I know I could possibly find it at the TFCon, but I know usually with how I see TFCon videos and everything, they usually sometimes sell the characters either in a bag or individually.
Impactor, what TFCon are you going to?
That's the thing. I'm trying to remember it because I forget the information.
Oh, do they have one in PA?
It's going to be, I think, here basic. It's not going to be in my area. It's not going to be where I live, but it's going to be somewhere.
A larger city, yeah. Pittsburgh.
It's not in Pittsburgh. It's not. I think it's somewhere maybe in not Delaware.
Oh, you're talking about the one that's not in PA, the one that's it's in the Northeast. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
I think that's the one I'm going to.
Okay. That's quite a trek.
Now, before we jump back to the main topic, I have a couple of images that Magnus has mentioned.
I'm going to now put these in my garbage disposal.
So which is, this is the blaster and the sound wave?
Blaster sound wave.
I have a high suspicion.
Have these in them for their cassettes.
Cool.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And we show other image. Wait, one moment, let me get to the other image.
Love the full theme costume.
There we go.
Let's see Grimlock.
Whoa.
Well, that's the jacket that she brought up here that's got the big Dinobot symbol on the back of it.
That wasn't it like a
And
week
it's
ago
got
you had her
patches.
show
It's
us
got
it?
patches. Yeah, it's got patches all over it. It's got the Dinobots on the side of it. It's got a big fireball. It says "Melt them down." It says "King Grimlock" across the back.
Far out.
When I do lockdown, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna try and design the head, and I'm gonna try and do some type of weird mouth movement so I can like connect the mouth and everything to my actual mouth, and I'm gonna try and make it as animated accurate as I can. It's not gonna be transformable, but it's gonna at least look as animated as I can.
Nice.
I tried doing Impactor, but sadly, due to rain, it failed. Rain caused the thing to disintegrate.
No, I
There's
had
this,
the
video
She'd
from
appreciate that.
I had a video that you sent. I'm just waiting for it to reload. Somehow it stopped loading. There we go. So,
What happened to RDD2? I think he's having a mental overload.
He was just showing me everything he could do with it.
I think he's having a mental overload.
And to give you an idea of how big he is, I just sent another picture.
Well, he's life size, so he's like what?
Yeah,
3.5,
he's
4
1-to-1.
feet tall.
and we're saying about 80% of this was 3D printed.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's really nice. Holy
the
cow.
tube, the main tube is a concrete tube. What they used to pour round concrete forms.
Like both.
And then all the legs, the feet, they're all 3D printed, and I think he said it has 117 servos.
Wow.
Also, I need to say something to Deceptikitty and Spin. I'm blaming you guys for getting me into X-Men.
Yeah, that's awesome. X-Men's awesome. Yeah, we should continue the rest of those shows.
You got me into it. I'm hooked up on X-Men 97 and the other X-Men shows that are continuing Clue-handed.
Ah, that's awesome.
Well,
I love
remember,
how
X-Men-
it's silver. That's a really cool color scheme for RTD too.
It's an Imperial one. These guys
Yeah, it's
are
just
the
an R2
Imperial
unit.
troopers.
Right.
I know it's not RDD2. I just referred as that.
And it plays all kinds of music. The two fans right there on the front are actually speakers.
Nice.
I'm now
And,
gonna
I
put this in my
asked him how much it
disposal.
weighs. He said it weighs around 250 pounds because it has 2 huge batteries in it, so that he can run it all day long.
Are they car batteries?
Wow.
They're
No, car battery's
motorcycle-
not going to last that long.
No, they're motorcycle batteries.
Motorcycle batteries? Wow, that would be heavy.
Yep. That's very cool.
But he said the original, both of those 2 silver things on the front would pop out, and this door right here on the side, it opens up, and it's where his charging port is, and it also has the little the computer terminal that R2 always uses.
Mhm.
But those motors stripped out Friday night to activate all 3 of those, so he couldn't do any of that. And he's also got one up here on the top that comes up the little periscope that looks around out of his head.
Cool.
But he was having all kinds of technical difficulties Friday. He said, if you build one of these, you're going to learn.
Also, Mr. Magnus,
And the main servo that he uses in it are automatic seat adjusters.
Oh, nice.
Out of cars. He said he goes to the junkyard and gets all of his servo motors and stuff.
Well, that wouldn't be a bad place as long as the servos are practically new. Basically, if they brought like a broken down car, basically, as long as it's partially brand new, except it's damaged, I think it should be good. Because whenever I drive past 2 junkyards where I live, basically, and while both of them, I usually either see old cars that are practically A-OK or broken down, basically, or I see very old vehicles like fire trucks, dump trucks, and a bunch of other things, basically, and they look practically untouched.
That does not look kid bash. Looks very professional.
Mm-hmm.
Does not look like you scrapped through a junkyard to make that.
Melt them down. Also, question for Mr. Magnus. How long does it take you to transform Unicron in the background?
About 45 minutes.
Jeez.
Well, that's cool.
If anything, the background and what I'm seeing basically for the King Grimlock, if anything, this goes with the King Grimlock comic book series.
Cool. And let's see. And
yes, I do say the buying Transformers, like, it's atrocious. Because if I'm correct, we are about to continue.
Kid, you know nothing of pain and suffering.
I do. It's called my parents. They restrict me from basically what I can buy and what I can't, basically, for Transformers. And I have to basically work hard to get it.
I'm not doubting that you work hard, but you've got it easy with the prices of the stuff you collect.
I collect the old stuff, not to mention. I'm starting from the ground up. I'm starting from the ground up with 2001, basically, mainly collecting the characters who I want, and then I'll keep moving my way through everything. Not to mention, you can ask me anything about
the boots that she was wearing with that costume have like a 4.5-inch riser on them. And she had spikes and everything coming off of it like scales all the way up the legs. It was
also
that's why I say I can't believe I did not get a picture of the damn boots.
Language.
Welcome to Children of Primus. If your ears can't handle it, then you might want to plug them.
And for Toy Warp, also, for a heads up, I've known a lot about Transformers since I was the age of 2. Not to mention, I read this entire book. I have most of every knowledge of, Transformers from the beginning of the storylines, the books. If I just move through here, the pages, I read everything. Oh, speaking of Dinobots.
Wow, that looks nice.
Yeah, I'm not doubting your knowledge, my guy.
I know all the toys and everything, and I know the price ranges. Not to mention, G1 will be me and my dad collecting. When me and is that 3D printed?
It's focusing on you. It won't focus on that.
I'm supposed to say TFCon. There it is. TFCon 2024.
Nice.
TFCon 2024.
But,
so this is going to be it's like a prototype for some Energon cubes that I'm going to do.
But with my knowledge of Transformers, if anything, what I might start off is I'll start off with the G1 guys. Is that right, Energon? Matrices of laser ships?
Yeah, so, definitely I'm going to do a Decepticon Matrix, but I was just experimenting.
The Dark Energon Matrix, or the Dark Matrix, as they call it? I created the Shattered Glass Victorion.
Oh, interesting. No, that's something also I'm going to consider. But the Decepticon Matrix was, I think, a concept created by the Quintessons in, I forget which episode, but it was a G1 episode, season 3. And they were saying, oh, there's a Decepticon Matrix. And Blitzwing's like, yo, Galvatron, there is no Decepticon Matrix. But
It's Five Faces of Darkness.
what was it? Five Faces of Darkness? Okay, yeah, right. And cool concept. There was a website I used to buy comics from called Decepticon Matrix, and I used to flip them on eBay way back, like way back. And yeah.
Predate 2010.
Oh yeah, it's like 1990 something.
Now, going with our main topic, I threw the question on Reddit, and some of the answers that we got, in terms of, is there a limit of buying too many Transformers?
Well, there's a limit. It's called your bank account.
Well, there's a funny equation that someone posted, and I'm trying to backtrack it. I haven't found it yet. Fregenstein mentioned in the comments that he's counted 3643 Transformers and growing. And
I have at least 300 Transformers, and out of all the 300, there's at least maybe 100 rare ones in the mix of it that I could sell and make a bunch of money off of.
Cool.
Just numbers, chasing the numbers is also like, I would say that could be a dangerous red flag in, out of hand collecting. Like, Mr. Magnus, is that something that you would have considered in your panel there, like arbitrary chasing goals?
Well, it was in the panel. The point that I put across was you don't buy a piece for your collection in retrospect to instead of paying your rent, having food for the table, paying your bills. Your collection comes from your disposable income. You have to take care of the primary first. And then if you've got to, put money back a couple of weeks, and then get this. I just had this conversation with a buddy of mine the other day. He was like, I only spend $15 a month on this one online game that we play, the MechWarrior Online. And he said, and they just dropped this new mech. He said, I really like to have it. I said, well, if you can afford it, I said, go ahead and get it, and then just don't buy anything for the next 4 months. Mm-hmm. And he was like, hey, yeah, I can do that. But because he put himself at a limit of 1 mech per month, but this one is dropped as a group of 4, so you have to buy all 4 of them at once. Mm-hmm. Then you can't buy a single one. And he's like, I really want to get that mech, but I've already bought something last month. And I said, so just go ahead and get it, and then don't buy anything until December.
Right.
Oh, well, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, there won't be another launch until spring.
So I feel my takeaway from that is like, buy something for you that's within your means and budget, but leave out the whole competition out of it. I think just buy things that you want, right? Instead of like chasing numbers.
We don't have to worry about it. Unicron's bringing them in.
Yeah, right.
We've already discussed this. The gravitational field. When you have 3 Unicrons in one room, it
Wait, you have 3 Unicrons?
I have HasLab, I have Studio Cell, and I have our Energon.
I have Energon, except sadly incomplete.
Stop collecting the Unicrons. I can feel my cases pushing me forward now.
Yes, IMPACTOR. I didn't mention that you've joined our collective. If you notice a Transformer missing one day, it's slowly migrated over to Magnus's house.
It's slowly coming here. I got 2 display cases just like the 2 that are sitting behind you this week. A lady put them up on Marketplace near me.
I got a chance to have
I got them for $75 a piece.
I
the display cases, right on.
Transformers Cyberplanet Key Rainbow, the original colors breakdown by HHS, because mine went missing a year ago.
So I guess he's asking if you've noticed that character in your collection suddenly showing up. RG Eagle says, hey gang, what's up? And has a question to Magnus. Does your collection contain many non-Transformers as well, like Marvel, DC, etc.?
Yes. In this room alone, there is Star Wars Lego, Warhammer 40K, Dungeons and Dragons miniatures, GoBots, Mask, G.I. Joe, Voltron. That's about it. But in the next room over, I also have a very extensive Magic the Gathering and BattleTech collection.
Also, question for Mr. Magnus: which takes up your collection more, Siege, Legacy, or G1?
Well, G1 doesn't take
Third
that
party.
much.
Probably third party. I have 4 cabinets of third party masterpieces, and I have 3 cabinets of WFC, and then the G1s are just in the Timex booth over there.
I've been watching on Marketplace too, trying to pick up some replacements for the cases here because I've actually outgrown these now. So I feel your pain on finding stuff on.
Well, especially I could see you've outgrown them with how many things are jammed into there.
Oh yeah, they're
practically. It looks
full.
like Devastator is about to explode.
I found a local, well, not local. It's a couple towns over, but I found a place that actually custom makes them for retail, and they're not priced terribly. To get one that's just as deep as this one, just 6 foot tall, would only cost me about $1,000 if I go and pick it up.
Yeah, I need to start making a lot of lawn mowing money if I can get that. Because by
that's
September,
what I did when I was your age. I mowed lawns.
should have at least $360. That's not even enough for a size shelf like that.
Mowed lawns in the summer and shuffled snow in the winter.
Yep, I mowed a lot of lawns too, man.
In my neighborhood, there's practically 0 teens. I'm like one of the only ones, unless you're counting the people who live in the apartments right behind me. Because there's an entire apartment complex that stretches for maybe at least 2 or 3 or 4 miles, and they don't have their own lawns to mow. This company comes and mows them, and then there's this neighborhood basically in front of it that has houses and actual big lawns. And so that's where I make most of my money. But I know most of the people who live around here, and so I know basically what places I already know are taken and what places are not. For instance, the person right next to me over here has a person who actually mows her lawn. It's her, I think, grandson or somebody, basically.
Cool. Leanne G. Welcome, Leanne says, Happy Father's Day to the dads of Children of Primus.
Thank you, Leanne.
Thank you, Leanne.
Well, hey, when I start collecting G1 stuff, maybe my father figure might join in.
Your father figure, like your father figure, or your figure who is
father?
His parental unit. That is a dad.
Parental unit. Yeah. Was he into Transformers?
His Eiffel Trion. His Alpha Trion.
Was he? Yeah. Was your father into Transformers?
My dad was into Transformers. He was there for the G1. He had most of not everybody, but he had mostly most of our main guys except for a select few, and one of them being Megatron because his bot mode's horrible.
So Impactor's a G2.
I'm a G2/G1. I have the mixture of both because I grew up as a child. At 2, it was with rescue bots, but then as my childhood changed, basically, my parents gave me every G1 episode on DVD, except sadly for season 3. And so I watched all of season 1, season 2 on DVD at the age of 4 to 5. And then when I hit 7, then my parents finally found websites basically that what we could put onto our TV, and I watched every episode of season 3 in within a week of the entire summer.
Nice.
And then, as time moved on, I started learning more about the shows and everything, and now I'm collecting mostly from each different toy line, basically. I have at least one from each toy line.
Deceptikitty, you got them together already, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Far out.
Yeah, we're working hard on this guy.
I guess so.
So this is Jazai design, and I've been working on him for like, well, I wanted to get him done for TFCon 2022, and it was just over my head at the time. And now that I have some more skills under my belt,
Is that Warpath?
I finally got it. Yeah, it is a Warpath. It's like a little chibi Warpath. It's got a few gimmicks to it. It's fun, and yeah, this is the.
You got that start 3D printing that guy into the colors of Warpath himself.
Yes, and all of his variant colors as well. Shattered glass versions, BotCon exclusive versions. I didn't know there was even a shattered glass version until I recently searched it up. Actually, apparently there's an elusive Diaclone version, which I can't find a picture of, but it supposedly exists.
And before we get back into
what type of gorilla monkey Nuketown thing is that?
What is it? I can never remember their name. One of the the Decepticon W cassettes.
It looks like a character from Robozuna from Netflix.
Now,
yeah, that's.
Before we get back into the comments, over on Transformers G1 Hardcore, related to the topic, a person named Chris says, in terms of buying too many Transformers, says definitely has that issue. They might be moving and they're seriously stressing, which I'm guessing in that case they're probably moving into a smaller residence.
Just jam everything into the attic and pray they don't melt during the heavy summer heat and don't freeze in the cold during the winter.
Well, the funny, and I remember we spoke about that months ago. Depending on the type of house you have, sometimes garages are better because they're better insulated if you're surrounded by the concrete, and not the attic, because the attic will get extremely hot or become extremely cold during the winter.
For my definition, basically, I do not have a garage. I kind of wish we did, but I don't honestly know if we should have or have not, basically. And, my basement is extremely cold because that's where, the thermos and everything is. And then, my attic, basically, if my parents had the money at the time, I'm pretty sure we would have insulated it with air conditioning and everything. So maybe it would have been a better choice, basically, for
living in Canada sure helps with the preservation of toys. We don't have that humidity and heat problem like you guys might have.
You don't want to. If you
know nothing of humidity and heat.
Skywarp has to deal with Jurassic Park
flames coming from its
heat rises are unthinkable. If you were to come to my house, it's 100 degrees in the day, and you walk into the attic, it is going to feel like it is 1,000 degrees in there because I sweat it immediately as I walk in there to go and grab basically pillows and blankets.
Oh God, you Northerners! Oh jeez.
What part of the U.S. are you in, child?
That's so cute.
Oh, thank you, James. Yeah, Beast Box you got there. Box art.
Yeah, I couldn't remember their name. I know it's something.
Beast Box.
So go
to my Warpath.
Thank you.
Does this count as Warpath?
Going back to the subject, see, I've got this guy who is supposed to be selling me a G1 Jetfire that's in the box, right?
Yeah.
So I have a choice between buying the G1 Jetfire and buying some car parts for my extra cars, my classics that I keep around. So that's a pretty easy decision for me. I'm going to go ahead and buy the Transformer and wait to get the parts for the cars. However, if the fuel pump or something important went out in my work truck, the truck that I make my money with, I wouldn't be buying the Jetfire. This is all about priorities.
Okay, we'll arrange that right away then.
Do what? Oh. That's right. I didn't see you sitting there. but no, like I thought about that, like in the grand scheme of things being the topic of the show. Like I could be buying a fuel pump for my car Sunstreaker, or I could be buying the brakes I need for Cliff Jumper. But I'm choosing the Transformer because I don't depend on those cars every day. Okay. I depend on my work truck. If my work truck goes down, I have to fix it to make more money to so I have more money to buy Transformers. I understand that buying stuff can absolutely be an addiction. Like when COVID hit, and until last year, definitely not this year because it's election year, because nobody spends any money on election year. But the last couple of years, I have spent obscene amounts of money on vintage toys, just obscene amounts. Okay, but I'm not going hungry to do it. You get the direction I'm going there. I'm not letting anything else slide I wasn't letting anything else slide to buy toys. Now, obviously, this year, I haven't been able to buy much. The G1 Jetfire is kind of like my big purchase of the year, when it comes to the Transformers collection anyway. But this is, like I said, this is all about priorities, man. You got to keep your priorities straight.
Magnus, I got the link in the background, and Charlie C says is saying to Toy Warp, just buy the Jetfire.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying.
I'm making it hard. I'm making it really hard.
I got this guy.
I love you, Deceptikitty. I love you.
I got this guy mint in box with missile and everything for Easter.
Nice.
How old are you?
13.
Go private.
I have known my Transformers since the day I was born.
That's pretty nifty, actually, that your parents would still buy. My parents would not buy me toys after, 10, 12. They wouldn't buy me toys.
Basically, what I want and everything. And so the beautiful thing of me is that as long as I work hard and I keep everything up, not to mention this was an Easter present, not like my parents buying me this.
No, right.
No, yeah, I understand. Yeah, but what I'm saying is my parents did not buy me toys after about 10 years old. I mean, I was still asking for them. They wouldn't buy them.
Also, Mr. Magnus.
I was getting work boots. Get your ass out there, take care of the farm.
A normal colored breakdown, but I don't have my pink colored breakdown. Where is it? Did you steal mine? Did I leave it at the park and you found it and stole it?
Well, I'll say something since I know Toy Warps was originally from Ohio, but this is before Florida. So, my parents, my mom being from Ohio, my dad's from Michigan, they looked at it this way. They'd rather have me be into toys or video games. I remember, me getting the PlayStation, the first PlayStation and a bunch of games for it was, the big deal for 97. And even, my art teacher, he's like, hey, I'll buy some paintings off you that I really like that you did in class. And you can use them for those video games. But they'd rather have me be into that sort of stuff than going to underage drinking parties and being a kid that has a kid. So they're like, yeah, go ahead. Keep on wanting those toys and video games. Go ahead.
Yeah, and it's funny. Yeah, certain generations and depending where you live, there is that mindset of a bunch of us, we were working part-time jobs or doing whatever and investing into our hobby, but there's that certain point where it's as parents, do you either support the hobbies that the child is in to get them out of what's happening outside, or do you just let them go out and play like how we grew up? And Mr. Black Goldfish, welcome once again. Says, I got that Jetfire. It's still in the box.
Mr. Black Goldfish, are you still in the chat? Because I'm questioning, is it this Jetfire here or Deceptikitty, not Deceptikitty, Toy Warp's G1 Jetfire that you tried to buy? Is that a German Shepherd or a dog?
It's a Shepherd. It's a Shepherd M551 tank, I think.
What are you doing?
It took me a second to realize you were talking about a tank type, not a. Oh wait, there's a dog now.
Ask for doggo, you shall receive.
Yeah, Shinta's literally looking at me from the front door, the glass side of it. He's like, "Let me out."
Let me out. Let me out.
It's still life.
You got
Dog
so hard.
beat Toy Warp. Dog beat Toy Warp. Dog. beat
Even
the
hear
Toy
you,
World.
potato face.
Come on, Shinta.
Dog beat Toy
Come on,
World.
Shinta.
There
Come on,
is a battle.
Shinta. Shinta, come on. Dude,
Potato head.
come on.
Thank you, dog, for beating Toy Warp at Tug of War.
Oh, she is.
No.
Oh, she's so strong.
Now, as I was mentioning over in Reddit when we threw the question, some of the answers were 800 plus toys currently. I'm not sure what the limit is.
Well,
but
has anybody heard of the world record for the most Transformers? And the guy legitimately like bought almost all of the original generation stuff from 2010.
What we did have,
Yeah, we had him on here.
The Guinness Book of World Records holder.
and at the time he was the world record holder, but now I believe he's second place because someone has surpassed him in having the world record of Transformers and Transformers memorabilia all within the franchise.
So it's time for me to try and knock that world record down when I have a job and I'm.
But you know what? There's people who have maybe substantially more, a large collection, but they just don't want to expose themselves.
Exactly.
I know, for example, there's some people who have huge collections. They don't want people to know because people know where they live and they can, and they're scared of theft, and that does happen. And
not everyone cares about the numbers either. I've never done a count.
I know a guy, a good friend of mine. He had every Hasbro figure and just about every Hasbro figure and piece of memorabilia, but he was never interested to show it off. It was his private thing. It was his house.
Private collection, stay private, stay hidden, stay like you never even existed, as the Men in Black said.
Yeah.
Which you then question in terms of some of the people who are collecting. Are they collecting just to relive a childhood, just because they love the franchise, or are they collecting to show off, to others?
My personal
that guy's
opinion,
got a couple thousand, so I'm gonna get a few more thousand just to show off that I can buy these, and really has zero interest in buying them.
I think there definitely is that side
Once
of it.
it's perfected by laterhood, basically by teenhood, maybe I'll try and see if I can get more characters. But if anything, for now, I'm just gonna stick with the characters who I want to get and what I want to complete. Me in general, basically.
I treat them like Pokemon. Gotta catch them all.
Well, I'm gonna have to try and beat Mr. Magnus with how he's the record holder. If anything, maybe I can make more.
I'm not no record holder.
Because
I think he means out of the group.
Like some things. Sorry.
No, Freak's got me beat. I'm at 3,200. He just posted on there, like 3,600, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm pretty sure memorabilia. I'm pretty sure I might win because of the costumes I'll be able to create.
But
Because
what?
I'm very crafty.
Now here's where I throw a wrench.
You want to talk about costumes?
But here's where I
I
throw a
just-
wrench.
Whole family
If I
doing
wanted, I
cosplay.
could grab all the cardboard I needed.
But here's where I throw a wrench in the numbers, because even though people mention how many they have, there's also the box collectors. Because there's some of us, we prefer to play with a transformer, put them on the shelf, but then the box collectors. So some will say, well, I've got 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, and they're all in boxes and everything. But how do we know that they actually have?
Grimlock questions.
How do we know what spin?
How do we know they actually have 3,000 or 4,000 Transformers hidden in a box? Wait, Magnus, come back.
Mr. Magnus, I'm pretty sure so I now see you have an Optimus Prime startup, but we'll see who wins when I get my cardboard.
That's not started up. That's a complete costume. Well,
This is a complete
Yeah, he's
costume.
got
I
the
already
whole thing.
won a cosplay competition with this.
Well, I'm pretty sure once I get my cardboard, my spray paint, and all my paints and everything, I'm pretty sure I'll be when I'm older. I'll go to multiple TFCons and win each of them because of my genius and, well, with how I work.
Shame you don't have confidence.
That sounds like a battle.
I have confidence,
Yeah,
yes.
look at
That's like a battle.
Make Mega Transfusion Cannon, I'll believe you.
Oh shit.
Excuse me?
That Magnus says, you need Megatron's
Shove it up your tailpipe.
You might want to take off one of those arms because right now Skybound's starting to become superior in the G1.
James Cohen says, well said, Impactor.
Did you read the recent most issue Impactor of Transformers?
Issue with number
Issue 9?
8? Oh,
Issue 9.
No, 9. Not yet. We haven't gotten our hands on it, me and my dad. My dad and I have started the comic book collecting. We have to go
this
pick
isn't
it up.
really a
We're gonna go
spoiler,
pick it
but
up
you know
tomorrow.
how last issue on issue 8 Blitzwing kind of shows up at the end. You get a little bit more characterization.
Hey, don't
of
spoil
him.
it. Don't spoil
I'm not. I'm just saying, if you like Blitzwing, you'll enjoy the issue.
Right now,
And
I'm right now about to head to tomorrow. So I just got back from a week away vacation. It was super fun. It was very fun. I had the best week away from here. But now that
Oh dear.
Any time away from PA is probably a good
bless
vacation.
you.
now that I'm back, now I'm going to be on the schedule of wake up, mow the lawn, go to the pool, come back, eat lunch, do dinner, and then go to the comic book shop that I live right next to and get my extra comic and then see what they have in Transformers and get whoever I want to get.
Damn, you said literally right next to?
If you've ever been to Harrisburg, there is the Colonial Park Mall. Dimensions Comics has been in the Colonial Park Mall for a few years, or maybe even maybe a decade, I don't know. But they were there for a very long time. I didn't know about them until, predate After Siege. Right around Kingdom was when I learned about them. And so, my 10th birthday, I went there, spent a bunch of money, and got a bunch of transfers. 11th birthday, 12th birthday, and, 13th, sadly, I didn't get the chance to go to due to reasons of, they were not open, basically. And then, lucky old me, a very old carpentry place that's right next to this pizza place that I live in, I could walk down there. It's like in walking distance, basically.
The shop I live near is like a mile walk one way, and then the owner, he lives up the street from me, so maybe 10 minutes to the shop, maybe 5 minutes to the owner / my friend's house. Literally.
It's only...
So,
and then
when I lived in Richmond, Virginia, literally it was up the street from me, the comic shop, because I lived on the Broad Street.
If I were to hop in my van right now with my parents, basically, drive there, it'd only take me 1 minute, basically, to get there. Walking distance, it'd be maybe at least 2 miles. It's super fun that they're there, basically. But it's gonna be a fun summer, basically, with the money I make and try and get the characters. Right now, my goal, the goal for characters I want to get from there, the next characters I'm trying to get, maybe, are Galvatron, and I want to get a Earth vehicle mode Magnus, and it's either going to be Studio Series if I make the money to buy that thing, or it's going to be Kingdom. It's like the only 2 options I have, because reasons. And also, Spin, why do you have that very funny looking image of Jazz?
Jazz was my nickname before, and I'm looking for something and I can't seem to find it.
Mr. Magnus, so somebody mentioned earlier that you were going to stream your panel. Where could one find that panel to watch?
I have no idea. Right now we have a recording. It's on my fiance's phone, but it's an hour and 15 minutes long. So we don't know. Neither one of us are technologically advanced enough to know how we get it off of her phone onto something else. So I've got to wait for Pete to come over, and once he gets it on here, we'll set it up on YouTube, or I'll send it to Spin and he can attach it.
That's what I was hoping.
Perfect.
Yeah, we did make a recording. She has a Pixel 4, so it's a very decent phone that she recorded it on. It was on a tripod, so it's not all shaky and everything.
What were some of the other points you had brought up during your panel about?
It mainly focused on the do's and don'ts of getting scammed. trusted sites, trusted pages, stores, the dangers of eBay's, the dangers of Macari, the difference between a KO, a knockoff, or a KO, a third party, and a mainline figure, how to tell the difference between each of them. Pete, my tech, he was there to assist me in all of this. He kind of got everything up and running for us. But he brought in his two boxed sound waves because he bought one from Temu just knowing that it's a knockoff piece of crap, but the joints are good and stiff in it. So it will stand, whereas the G1 that he has originally won't stand because it was played with. Hell, it's 25-year-old transformer.
Yeah.
It's a 25-year-old transformer. So he's got his original in robot mode, and he's got that knockoff standing up beside him. We explain to people, if that's what you're going for, don't worry about spending $150, $200 on an original. Get you this $25 piece of crap that you're not going to play with. But if you want something that you want to play with that's going to last, then you need to get something a little stiffer than one of these pieces of crap.
Mr. Magnus, besides Optimus Prime, have you made any other characters in cardboard, like cosplay form?
As far as Transformers go, no. But we have, I want to say, close to 35 different cosplays here at this house.
Well, get ready, because when the summertime hits and I start making money off my lawn mowing and everything, and I get paint cardboard and everything, I'll be making a bunch of cardboard costumes of characters.
Right on.
And I'm pretty sure
I'll be ready.
I'm pretty sure I'll have you beat, because I'll be a bounty hunter once I get the cardboard and the paints I need. I'll be becoming Lockdown from Animated. And also, who here thinks Animated Lockdown's one of the best Lockdowns we've got in years?
Is that G1?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah, I've got no input.
Lockdown was introduced in Animated originally. He's like a bounty hunter type.
Well, both Animated and Revenge of the Fallen, because of the comic books he was mentioned basically, and not to mention he had his animated style in the comic books, except he had a little bit more of a different spin off to the face. Also, I will be picking up that Legacy Lockdown 100%.
What language is this kid speaking?
Speaking Transformium.
Modern Transformer.
Dude, this guy's 13.
Modern? Gross.
Also, Toy Warp, not to mention I'm a living filing book. I have ADHD, if I'm correct, because of my parents and what they say, basically. But I have a living filing cabinet in my brain, basically, that goes like maybe 1 million pages down of every character, every leader, every
Hey kiddo, I'm not questioning your knowledge. I'm just saying that you speak all this new stuff and I don't speak new.
I speak old and new. I can speak both, basically.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, and I guess this would apply to Mr. Magnus too. But Impactor, if you guys are both into making like armor out of cardboard, or or even better, or more stiffer materials. I know a friend of mine's, Hijabi Who with HOO. She does a lot of Assassin's Creed cosplay, and she makes a lot of armor. She's like on Instagram, so maybe I'll share her Instagram page on Discord or something sometime.
Well, remember, I don't have Discord.
Well, you can always just look her up. You just look her up, Google her.
Do you have a PC?
Google her, and
no,
you don't have to have a Facebook or Instagram to go on the Instagram and Facebook to look around.
Is that chainlink?
Nice.
This is stainless steel chainmail. This thing weighs 75 pounds, and my 12-year-old daughter used to wear this at the convention.
Holy cow!
This is the chainmail base for her Chandra the Pyromancer.
Wasn't that made out of soda tabs?
No, I used a stainless steel wire filament and attached it to a drill around a dowel rod, and I made like 1,400 links every, minute and a half.
Wow.
and then put them together.
Didn't you have one though that was made out of soda tabs?
No, a buddy of mine did. He also has one that's made out of paper plates. But this power line right here has LEDs in it. The control is actually on her gauntlet, which she still keeps in her room.
What is the costume of?
That's right. And Pete just said it.
Right?
Pete made these. These were on our first 3D printer.
Dope. Wow. Those are really nice.
What is the costume of?
It's Chandra the Pyromancer from Magic the Gathering.
Okay.
Also, I need to ask you guys, what should I start with for the lockdown? Should I start off with legs, body, head, or arms? Because I'm either doing the arms or I'm starting off with the head.
I say
don't know the character.
Head. Start with the head because you want the head to be comfortable, and then you can, because you might try to, and then you can kind of figure out the rest of the scale that you want to do the rest of the the costume based on how big you end up doing the head
lockdown.
That's how I would do it anyhow.
Without thinking of lockdown, he towers over Optimus basically. So I'm gonna have to find like platformed shoes or in general flip flops. Because
And actually over to Magnus, because SETTOM was saying
Frankenstein would be a good person to talk to about costuming.
Yeah. And so, SETTOM mentioned starting with the head. Magnus, in terms of your Optimus outfit, which section did you start with first, the head or the body?
You need to start with whatever has the most detail.
Well, for an instance,
because
it's going to be head and his hook arm.
Let me finish, Bubba. Let me finish. When you're making a cosplay, you start with whatever has the most detail in it because that is going to take you the longest.
Well, then I can say it's going to be his arm and his head.
So that's where you need to start.
But I think his legs will be easy because, well, they're less detailed in bot mode. And then, well, his other arm, I'll just need to figure out how the heck to make, well, it interchangeable. If anything, the plan is to try, when I make him, I'm going to first off do the head, and then make his hook hand. But what I'm thinking about is I'll try and make, a cool, interchangeable, backpack on lockdown that I could, swap out his limbs, basically, because in Animate he has, well, a chainsaw, and then a rocket fist hand, and then, well, his hook.
Well, Freenstein says what you need is foam milling and just cut out a costume. So much easier for a transformer. And also said she is the best to start with because you have to tweak it to fit for motion.
What is cheat, freak? Is that a typo?
Yeah, I think that might be a typo.
Means your chest.
Like to tweak it.
Chest. Okay.
Now, when my daughter was 12, this picture was taken of her that I just sent you, Spin, and she got notarized worldwide with it. It was used in a bunch of conventions. She took first place in the cosplay competition that year. Got to go to the regionals where she got beat by a girl in a dynamic angel costume that the wings actually unfurled and flapped.
Ouch.
Well, that's awesome.
That is very cool.
Toy Warp.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you want to... not bet. I'm trying to think of the question again.
Chest. Okay, chest is the best place to start with because you have to tweak it to fit for motion. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
With how I did Impactor, when I was trying to build him, I first off did his entire chest and upper body because, well, images followed by other things, and not to mention had an endless amount of time, and this was pre-handed before Halloween. After I did his entire chest and body, I then worked on the hand. The knife hand. I don't know why, but I like characters who have, well, weapons for hands. Well, Impactor and Lockdown are two of the same, basically. Because they all have interchanging limbs.
What are we betting? What was that?
I'm trying to think now. I had it
And
in
the
my
brain
head.
fart.
Now that first picture that's got like 4 or 5 people in it, that was just for a Halloween party. We take costume building very seriously in this house.
Seriously, and well, sooner or later, your costume building's gonna be defeated with a one-man team.
Magnus, man, I don't know what to tell you, man. This kid's coming for your ass.
Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem. I know every one of us know who that is. Now,
Oh,
boy,
yeah.
there he might not.
What? No, what?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep. I know what this is.
Nah.
Yeah, and that's Pete right there with the nose and the orange beard.
Nice.
Somehow made more prolific music then as a fictional band than any artist today.
Yeah,
Reminds me. When I lived in Richmond, Virginia, I never realized that Gwa was local until I saw one of them walking around town in their costume.
Oh, nice.
Gwar?
And there's like GWAR.
Oh, no
Yeah,
way. They were
Gwar.
local to you?
Yeah,
Get
they're
out.
Holy
from
crap,
Richmond.
nice.
They're based in Richmond, Virginia.
That's awesome.
Like there's video of them like when they were taking the Confederate statues down a few years ago. And there's like, hey, who wants to vote for me to replace the guy riding the horse?
You're kidding.
This
Yep.
is the Deadpool
Not
costume that I
kidding.
made for my son when he was 9.
Wow.
And I will
Ooh.
never
Wow.
I will never make another outfit out of spandex again. Jiminy Christmas,
God, I
that's the
remember the
hardest
stories of
material
that.
in the world. That is the hardest material in the world to sew.
How do you sew it?
You sew it by.
You don't, and you get something else.
You don't.
And he got first place that year with that one in the junior division.
Right on.
That must be it. Was spandex being so hard to work with? That must be why those costumes take such a big chunk out of the movie's budget.
Dude, I can vouch for the fact that it is a serialistic nightmare.
My grandmother used to be
You've got a triple stitch every seam or they will pop because it's so stretchy.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, the first time I put it on there, I was like, "Oh, this stuff's the easiest stuff in the world to work with." And he put it on, and everything fell off of it. It just went. And I went, "Whoa!"
RJ Eagle says, "Sorry, I missed the last pick. Was that the cosplay
Gotta
from?"
go find Shinta.
Yes, it was.
Yep.
Yes, it was.
Says, I'm going to build a puppet of Ravage that I'll be in a Spike costume, and Ravage will be attacking me. And Professor D says, so funny that Toy Warp and Impactor are pretending to be meeting here when everyone watching can see they're obviously related. And it says they basically look like twins.
Toy Warp is not my cousin. Toy Warp is not my brother. I don't even have a brother.
Just call me Daddy.
Now that's something I might have to
said.
become a lockdown for. I might have to become a bounty hunter to hunt you down. Okay.
So I do have a couple of reveals from the con. We have a great big raffle at OMG Con where you just buy raffle tickets and they have boxes in front of prizes and you put as many raffle tickets in it as you want and then they do a blind draw at the end of it. And I got the second place prize this year.
Ooh, what's this gonna be? Maybe my missing breakdown?
Dun, dun,
Oh
dun,
no, it's not Transformers.
Oh,
They're
Zaku.
Gundams.
Ooh.
Don't know Gundam yet.
Oh,
Well, that's it.
Gundams.
Which one was that?
Oh,
And this one.
Gundams.
Was that the
This one is the MS-18E Camphor.
The previous one though was the version 3 of the Gundam?
It's the RX-78NT1 Gundam NT1.
Mhm.
And then this one
Must be new.
is the Zakui 2 F7. And then
Box art suggests I make a Zaku head for my
3 of these.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
action base. Yes, those are awesome.
Yeah,
Did you go to
the main
Factory?
prize was
Toy Whoop disappeared. Yay!
He's after
I
you.
for-
He's gonna pop in behind you, Doctor.
I forget what they called it, but it's basically a Nintendo Switch, but it's for Steam.
Also, not to
that was
mention,
the-
I'm pretty sure
that
Toy Whoop
was-
cannot figure
that
out
was
where
the
the
number
heck I
one
live because I
prize.
live legitimately on Cybertron, and I don't know if he has the time or the money to get to Cybertron.
And the third place was a sealed box of Modern Horizons 3 for Magic the Gathering. And then they had all kinds. They had some D&D book, a big stack of D&D books, a bunch of Japanese snack boxes, and all that fun stuff.
Nice.
But it was a good con. It was a real good con. It always is.
Awesome. I'm sorry, I missed that. What did you win that for?
But it was a raffle.
Oh, it was a raffle.
I just bought ticket. That was the second place prize. The first prize was a like I said, it was a handheld computer that plays Steam games. It's about the size of a Nintendo Switch. I think it was called Steam. If Pete Sims is still on here, he'll know what that is, and I would love it if you would post a comment of what it was called. But it was $400 or $500 item. Then there's $300 worth of this and $200 worth of MH3 was the third prize.
Probably a Steam Deck, I'm assuming. It's like a little gaming.
That's what it's called, Steam Deck. Steam Deck.
Okay. Right on.
And not
Yeah,
to
I know
mention
it's something
how
generic like that
I
deck
have like
box.
maybe 5 or 4 more minutes before I have to hit the hay and head to sleep. Mr. Magnus, when you see me next week, I'm pretty sure I might have the beginnings all ready for Lockdown's head by that time. Or
We'll see.
And not to mention, I'm pretty sure once I get Lockdown completed, I think I'll have to do my Men in Black hunting down skills, and I'll have to find Toy Warp and put him on
Speaking
my
of the
very
devil.
first bounty.
Mhm.
Wait, no, not Toy Warp's back. Wait, is Toy Warp back as a TV or a ghost? I can't tell.
Yeah. So I know some of y'all saw that we were having some really, really, really bad times Friday. The banner that we ordered didn't come in. That's what started Friday. Yeah, I went over to pick it up. Dude, let me talk. Let me talk. You are riding on my nice nerve with your interruptions, Bubba. I'm serious. I'm old, I'm decrepit, and I'm angry. Please let me finish a sentence before you jump in,
Yeah,
or
he
I'm
has to go
going
to
to
bed early
snap.
too.
I am absolutely going to snap. Now then, so me and Spin were talking to this lady about ordering our banners. They had a feather flag and they had a banner. We told her that we just wanted to order the banner. Because the feather flag, you got to have the pole and everything for it to go on.
Right.
I went by Friday to pick it up, and they opened up the box, and our banner's not in there. Somebody else's is.
Oh.
So it got shipped to the wrong place.
Okay.
So it's created. Now, whether it's coming in and we're going to get a discount or whatever, I don't know. But they're not open on the weekends. That's why I had to pick it up on Friday. I get home and she calls me up and she goes, I've got good news and I've got bad news. The bad news is that your banner's in Virginia and it's on the way here. And these banners are going to the place in Virginia. Are they? But your feather flag was in there rolled up inside those other banners. And I went, we didn't order a feather flag. And she goes, oh, well, then I guess I got nothing but bad news.
Oh.
Oh no. That is most unfortunate. Oof.
And then
I got
Spin
nothing
had
but bad news.
Yeah, and then Spin had vehicle troubles, and it was the icing on the cake was a buddy of mine got arrested Thursday, and
No.
it's extremely bad, extremely bad. It's a guy I've known for 25 years, and I'm not going to broadcast it over the line, but it's extremely, extremely bad, and I never would have thought something like this would have happened. That's why I say I'm going home. I'm going to pour me a shot of Angel's Envy about this big, and I'm washing my hands of this frickin' day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, it was bad. Like 12 police cars at his house when he pulled in.
Oh dear.
Holy.
Yeah,
He pulled in, the cops were already there.
Oh yes. Yeah, it's real bad. It's nothing that I am even remotely associated with. But a friend of mine that I've trusted with my kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I ran into one of those about 20 years ago. Yep. Somebody I grew up with.
And
most unfortunate.
Yeah, you couldn't have done more damage if you'd have hit me in the head with a sledgehammer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the end of my Friday, and I was like, you know what? Tomorrow we're going to have a good day. And we did. We went to the con, and we had a good day.
Right on.
Oh, the other midway thing on that was my phone. My cat jumped on my lap, and my cell phone slid down into the recliner, and I folded the recliner up and snapped my phone. Just snapped the screen on it.
Oh, my God, Magnus.
So, that happened like last Sunday. Okay, we were right after we got done here. Everything went, or it was Monday. It was the next day. Snap my phone. I take it to Verizon on Tuesday. They look it up. They're like, oh, well, you have insurance. The phone still works. It's just screen's broken. We'll just get it fixed. So they set up for Friday for them to come out here, and I have to be here from 3 to 5 in the middle of the convention.
Right.
So I come out here, leave the convention at 2 o'clock, get here by like 2:20. And we wait. And the guy's texting me, yep, I've got one in front of you, and then I'll be there. At 4:45, 15 minutes before he's supposed to be here, I get an email that my appointment has been canceled. Yes. So I call Verizon. They give me a phone number, and I'm on the phone for 2.5 hours throwing a fit. And they're like, well, we can reschedule you for July 16th is our next available opening. And I said, no. I said, it's getting fixed today.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, sir, we don't have any more openings today. And I said, you did. You had one from 3 to 5, and I was here for it. Your person dropped the ball, so let's get this rectified right now. And so I had to wait for like 25 minutes for a supervisor to get on, and they overnighted me a new phone.
There you go. It's way faster.
Yeah, and then I went back to the con, and that's when I found out about that, about my friend, when I went back to the con. And I was like, man, this frickin' day.
I bet you if you didn't have your phone, if you still didn't have your phone, you wouldn't have found out about it.
Correct. Oh.
Yeah, I don't envy days like that. I really don't like days like that.
I've never had a day that just snowballed completely out of control like that, though. That was my first.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've had bad days. Don't get me wrong, I've had bad days, but I've never had a bad day where every single thing that was planned that day went to absolute dog shit.
You're lucky.
And yeah, that was.
Yeah,
I missed all my panels, missed my magic competition at the con.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was.
Well, that was my definition when Impactor's costume went to, ground. And then followed by school failing and a few other things.
Yeah, cons are always a tense thing, like I can remember so many conventions, like when I used to live out of town, it would be such a hassle to drive in, prepare. Always there was something I would forget by the time I get home, like the freezer had de-thawed or there was maggots crawling out of it. Like every year I came back to some kind of disaster. Oh yeah. And this actually happened like 2 or 3 times, the whole freezer incident. Like on a weekend. How does that happen on a weekend?
Freezer defrosts. It'll never make sense.
Wow.
The freezer fails.
I forgot there was one more big snafu. My fiance's son's car got towed because they posted no parking in this area after he had already arrived at the con and parked there. After he parked there, they put up tape and said, no parking here after 3 o'clock.
Oh, no.
But he was already in the convention, so his car got towed. And that was a $250 bill we had to go pay.
And I'm sure you had to find wherever you towed it to, right?
Like I said, Friday, all the stars just aligned against us. It was just...
Hey guys, I have only at least 1 more minute, so I'd like to share the stop motion that I'll be posting.
9:35.
So this is a stop motion. I'll be posting it very soon.
Yeah, show it up.
Ooh.
You're kidding me.
Post it in the private chat so Spin can put it on the live here.
Yeah, send the link in the chat.
I'll share that whenever I get a chance. My tablet, I have to get to bed.
Pull that up.
You can always share the link too in the Children of Primus Facebook group so everybody else can see it.
I'm pretty sure I'll try.
Yeah.
It still needs finished. It's still work in progress. I have half of the entire scene done. I'm gonna do the entire Bumblebee movie, Cybertron scene, except, well, what if they didn't actually leave Cybertron?
Nice.
Because
from what I saw you trying to show it on your tablet earlier, it looked really good. So
I've looked at a couple of his videos. They're pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
With me, it took me only a few years to get me mastered through the stop motioning. And then, well, my big breaks, basically, because it was when I took my 2-week-long break and I did my very first real deal big, like, movie stop motion, Sideways versus Sideswipe, for instance. When I did that stop motion, and then, well, I kept working my way throughout breaks and out of breaks and taking my time, basically, started to align to the point that I started getting the mastering. And the lucky thing about me now is that my tablet is fast enough to at least understand it can turn on. And now my tablet is back on. It's just... Okay, found it. Now let me just go into my audio and press play on this thing, and you guys will see the work that I have. Okay, audio, and just I hate the work in progress thing. That's all I have left.
Nice.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
In total, throughout the break, I was on the week, basically. Throughout the week, I was just editing the effects. Well, I'm going to now leave. I need to get my rest. And also that my parents do not...
have a good night, Sleeping Beauty.
For sleeping. Because I do not want to die in my sleep.
Cool. Thank you for coming out again. And we have your link in our chat. So IMPACTOR Productions on YouTube. So check him out. But again, thank you for coming through.
Also, my parents are trying to tell me how to do this, but it's quite impossible with my fingers. The I come in peace, and it's quite impossible for my fingers to do it. See you guys.
See ya.
Is he trying to do the live long and prosper thing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
From work. No. You'll have to look that one up.
Listen, your girlfriend loves me.
That's right. So I do want to throw one more plug out there. I found out my cousin is now traveling in these cons in a vendor booth. So I want to throw a plug out to the headwitchhall.com. They do herbal teas and scented candles and jewelry and all that fun stuff. They're on the con circuit. I don't know if they'll make it to a TF con and everything, but for your regular conventions like OMG Con, Gen Con, stuff like that, most of your comic book cons, they're on that circuit. So check them out. They've got a lot of good stuff.
Hedgewitchhall.com.
The Hedwitch Hall. I don't know if I can get that right.
Because it's spelled hedge.
Yes, Hedge. Hedge.
Okay, yeah, that's
hedgewitchhall.com.
Okay. Sweet.
It's all natural stuff. This is all coconut oils and beeswax. Everything natural scents.
So when you were doing your panel and you had the dozen or so people in there, did it take a little wind out of your sails, or how'd you feel when that happened?
Well, when we first started, it was literally my friends that go to this con. That had come to support this, and I was like, well, this is going to be easy. I said, we don't even got to show the videos. You all know what this room looks like. And then we had a few people step in from the Sabers group, which is my son's. He's in that lightsaber dueling thing. That they stepped in, and he was really interested. He does a lot of collecting, and he was one of the ones that was taking notes and everything for the websites. And the people, like, he asked me how to spell Freakenstein. But yeah, it was good. Well, we covered a lot of stuff. It was our first panel. I'm not the greatest of public speakers, but I think it went rather smooth.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, I would have liked to have had more people there. We were at OMG Con. I don't know if they do this at other conventions. I've never seen it, but at OMG Con they have this thing called Con Bucks or OMG Bucks, and anybody that does a panel gets a handful of them. And like we were given like $24 worth of them in 1s, 5s, and 10s. And at the end of your panel, you do a question or have some sort of a little competition, and you give them out. And so everybody that actually asked a question, we gave a single $1 con buck to, and the con buck it's good as $1 in the vendor hall.
Okay.
So it's saving you a few dollars to go down there. And then we asked a few questions about Transformers and whatnot at the end of it and everything. And I had just went over because I took my autographed Optimus and my autographed Megatron in, and we had talked about those. And I said, this one's autographed by Peter Cullen, this one's autographed by Frank Welker. And 5 minutes later, we went into the contest. And I said, all right, so for the $5 one, who was the original voice actor for Optimus Prime? Crickets. Straight up crickets. I was like, y'all, just wait. His autograph is right here on this box. Like that, and still nothing. And Amanda goes, and I said, how about the lady right there making the recording? She goes, Peter Cullen. Like, hey, here you go. Go get us some snacks.
Go get us some snacks.
That's interesting. I've never heard of that con bucks. So it's like that's a
they call them con bucks. The one in Evansville calls them evil coins. For evil, Evansville is EVILL. Everything. So it's Evansville with the Vans taken out. So it's Evil Con. That's what they call it around here is Evil.
Right.
And so that's Evil Con, and they have evil coins, and theirs are kind of like the loonies and toonies, the bigger coins that have 1s and 2s on them.
You know what a loony and toonie is?
My first wife was Canadian.
Oh, okay, fair.
Yeah, well, I'm going to score myself a little bit here. My first wife was a Newfie.
Oh.
They know what I thought they're laughing about. Yeah.
It must be something. It must be something funny because I just see Canadian heads flapping.
Explain that to
That's
me.
so
we
funny.
went back for our honeymoon. We went back to Newfoundland so that she could visit her grandparents one last time before they passed away.
Oh. That's
Hey, it's gorgeous up there. It's absolutely gorgeous. Place called Placentia Bay.
They run some kind of crazy, like, homemade style rally race in Newfoundland. I've always wanted to go and participate in that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, something about, from one side to the other, and it's really freaking wild. Like I back in the day, nothing like regulated it, so you could have cars in there like without roll cages, and then some people got hurt. So now you have to have roll cages and stuff because it wasn't regulated from the beginning. I don't remember because it used to have TV coverage on a channel called Speed Vision, but Speed Vision is no longer. So I don't know what the status of that race is anymore. But I do know it was in Newfoundland.
That's cool. That's cool.
The biggest thing that I noticed about Canada while we were up there, of course, I was only in Newfoundland and St. John's, from the airport. Was the cleanliness. You drive around down here, and just driving down the road and looking out the way, you'll see a cup, you'll see some trash blowing around in the field. You didn't see that up there. I mean, everything was pristine, clean everywhere. And I thought that was just dynamic. That and Toy Warp, if you go up there, don't order mustard on anything because it's not the same as down here. Mustard up there has got big chunks of pickles, and it's sweet, and it's some nasty shit. And when you order it on a hamburger, they look at you weird. So they got like mustard and ketchup on that, and they're like, okay, we'll put that on there for you.
You already had mine.
Well, Professor D says, wow, that was the first time Toy Warp burned all of us all at once. And Peter Sims asking Magnus, did you tell him about my bad jokes?
Well, so we got set up early because I had a tech there, and he had everything up. We had all the stuff there. We're waiting for people to come in. We were waiting to see if anybody other than my friends were going to show up. So we actually started a couple of minutes late. And so Pete just got on and started telling these bad jokes, just awful dad jokes for Father's Day. And God, they were so bad. They're so bad. But I love you, brother. He brought me through this. He got me through it all. Anytime I had wrote down all the key points that I wanted to make, and I had that sitting up there. And anytime I would start to flutter a little bit, he'd ask a question that would put me back on track. So, like I said, it went smooth for our first panel. I think we did real well.
Okay, well, you saying first panel. Where would you like this to? Would you like to do more?
Oh, but me and Peter are going to do more.
Sweet. Sweet.
Whether they're going to be Transformers related, collectors related, or whatever. Our con is, I'm not going to say it's going belly up, but the attendance is way down. But we don't have the city backing it. They didn't promote it at all this year. That was just shocking to us. We had people in the city of Owensboro that had no idea that the convention was happening this weekend. And then the city had a concert on the lawn on day one, and so we couldn't even park in front of the convention center.
Oh,
that's where my girlfriend's son's car got towed because they had a concert on the lawn in front of the convention center. It was just bad things going around.
That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, here's hoping your next panel that you do isn't marred by aligning bad juju stars against you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like I said, the panel went great, other than we were so early on Sunday that everybody was still in bed. Because like I said, that there were people that were dancing still at 2 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Now, at this convention...
My son didn't even make it. And as we were walking out with all the stuff to put in the truck to take back home, he was walking in, and I was like, "You missed the panel," and he was like, "Oh, yeah, we were still here at like 3."
Oh.
Yeah, it was, I've only had like 6.5 hours of sleep right now.
Well, Friedenstein says, Magnus, when I get my passport back, I'll come out and help you.
Who took your passport?
Definitely, I'll put you up. Like I was gonna put Spin up right here.
Yeah, that was...
If you don't like the air mattress in the bar, then we'll bring the RV down here and hook it up, and you can have your own little apartment in the driveway.
Magnus, don't lie. Don't lie. You weren't going to put Spin up. The gravitational forces now have you collecting us as people.
Oh, God.
Come on in, boys.
Spin, we would have never seen Spin again.
He said, "I got a hammock. You don't want to sleep in a hammock here right now." It was 107 here with 106% humidity today.
Jesus fuck.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't leaving anything in the truck. When we got done with the panel, we sat around for a few minutes downstairs. Oh, now after the panel, we went down to the tables in the main entrance, and I had Unicron sitting up. Wow, I mean that's going to be something I might do next year, is just rent one of the tables in the front and put him out there, put our banner up on the table, and let people come in and just ask questions about, because he got a lot of attention just sitting there.
But wasn't Toy War? Weren't you saying that about your old Tonka stuff last week?
Oh
you
my God!
Just charge people to look at it.
Yeah, I should have just charged admission to my booth. We literally had people, that would pick them up, look at them, have someone else take a picture with it, and then put it back down. They never asked how much I wanted for it. Like, are you kidding?
So, what kind of stuff do they have in the dealer room at this con?
It's 90% anime stuff. The wall scrolls, like what SETTOM usually has hanging up behind him. Posters, art. There's an entire artist gallery. Half of the vendors hall is nothing but artists, and they've wrote books, they make stickers, they make shirts, they make banners, they have paintings, prints. Then there's always somebody there that's selling swords and shields and masks. There's 3 or 4 of the tables that are nothing but 3D printed stuff, mainly for like Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that. Some people are 3D printing Pokemon guys, and we bought. I got Amanda a. Do you know what a Keyblade is?
Keyblade, no. I don't think so.
It's from the Kingdom Hearts video game. Because this is a video game anime con, and it's a sword that's shaped like
Disney
a key.
and Squaresoft stuff.
Yeah. Well, they make all kinds of Keyblades now. It used to just be the Keyblade with the heart symbol and everything on it, and maybe Mickey Mouse ears or something like that. But now they make them in every genre you can think of, and they had a Nightmare Before Christmas Keyblade.
Nice.
And so I got Amanda a Nightmare Before Christmas Keyblade, and like the blade goes up and it turns into one of the snake heads that comes out from under the bed in Nightmare Before Christmas. That's the blade. And then it's got Jack's face on the hilt. And then there's a chain coming off the end of it, and Zero is hanging from the chain, his little ghost dog. It's really cool. But there's this year we had a big Gundam booth. And Pete, before you say anything, I already talked to Amanda, and that vendor that told you about the issue was wrong. So yeah, don't comment anything about that, because I was going to spread that out here, and she told me that was false, and I'll tell you guys about that after we go offline. Something did happen, but it wasn't that serious. They have a video game room where you can go in and play any video game you've ever thought about playing.
Nice.
They have a bunch of the actual big arcade games, a whole wall of those. They have every console you can think of, everything. And if you want to play a game, you just go up, and they've got, I don't know, I want to say a few thousand different games for each game console. It's like a library. You go up there and say, "Hey, I'd like to play a Sega Genesis Freedom Fighters 4." and they go.
Nice.
Oh
you go.
boy, I
And
could stump them on that one. Oh, sorry, we don't have it. Oh, sorry, we don't have it.
You might be able to. Like I said, it's a huge library.
That's good.
They've
They
got
have
some
that
real
because
obscure stuff.
Nintendo just took down a bunch of websites that were cataloging a lot of their like old games.
Yeah, a
one
lot of
the ROM
emulator
sites.
ROM sites.
Yeah.
Yeah, so much of that stuff from the original Nintendo was just Wild Wild West. Okay, this will work for Nintendo. It's not officially backed by Nintendo. I mean,
What was
like
it, Tengu carts or something?
yeah, over half of the market in like 1990, 1991 was all these, Wild Wild West freaking developers just making stuff for Nintendo, and it wasn't even backed by Nintendo. So, Nintendo can't do anything to that stuff. So they couldn't have taken much down.
Apparently the big ones.
Right.
I haven't really
Plushies
looked
is a
into
big
them.
thing at these kind of conventions. You know what a plushie is? A little stuffed animal.
Yeah, they're huge now. Everything has a plushie.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, everything has a plushie. There's 3 or 4 booths that had them on there. We collect. I collect Goombas from Mario Brothers, the little mushroom guy.
Yep.
We have a Goomba backpack, and Amanda is a Yoshi girl, and so she has a Yoshi backpack. We call them our kids because she goes into the con, and she's got one on each shoulder. And they are actual backpacks that they look like a plushie, but you unzip them on the back where their seam would normally be, and they've got a little pocket. They don't hold much, but you can put a couple of bags of candy in them for treats and stuff and snacks. So those are our kids, but we collect the Goombas and Yoshis. She got a light blue Yoshi this time, and I actually found my favorite Pokemon is Magikarp.
Okay.
He's a useless Pokemon, but I love him because he turns into that big ass dragon. And so I actually found a Magikarp plush, and he was huge. He's like the size of a basketball.
Nice.
And so I walked around with that all weekend long with this thing. And when I'd see a friend of mine, I'd go, Magikarp, engage dodgeball. And beating people with a Magikarp from across the room.
Magikarp.
Well, yeah, it was a good time. We had a real good time. Trying to think of what else would be. Oh, well, there's herbal stuff, teas and candles, costumes. There'll be cosplay people there. Amanda has a set of ears and a tail, everything that she walks around. Everything just clips onto her belt loop, or it's got a spot where you could actually run a belt through it. So they call them furries at these conventions, where they have the masks and the hands and feet. And then there's a whole genre of Comic-Con stuff like that.
That's cool. Wide array of stuff.
Oh yeah, it's great. I mean, if you can't find something to do there, you're doing something wrong. You could just.
We had.
Well, I'm sure. Go ahead.
Sarasota had one. My town had one. Pretty decent size too. I tell you what, though, I went there expecting to find at least a couple of vintage toy booths. They weren't there. I didn't recognize probably 95% of the stuff that was there. Like, I had no idea what any of this stuff was. It was actually kind of boring to me because there was nothing there I recognized. And on top of that, I mean, I'm only 46, but God, I felt like the 90-year-old guy that was walking around. It was all just kids.
Okay, so me and Amanda, and then Pete and Liz. No, Pete and Liz are, I want to say, 5 or 6 years younger than I am. They also have a comedy show every year. Okay, and that they have the family-friendly one, and then they have the adult one that's at the bar at the hotel. And so we go to the adult one every year, get us a drink, and sit back and laugh our asses off. And the third comic that came on, there's usually 3 of them doing a 20 or 30-minute skit. And the third one that come on, we're sitting in the second row. Okay, we're right. It's a small room. It's a little bit bigger than this collection room. Everything with just rows and rows and rows of chairs, and then there's standing room in the back, and it's usually standing room only. Every chair was full, people standing all the way around. We are by far the oldest people in this room, and we got called the Golden Girls. of Comic Con. He said, "I love it." He said, I'm used to seeing the elders here, but I'm not used to seeing one right there with a Deadpool hat on." And he's pointing right at me. Guy had this great big Deadpool hat on. I had my Deadpool hat, my Murder Prime, my Leica Boss with Megatron on the front and Prime blown to pieces on the back.
That is cool.
Speaking of Transformer shirts, the 40th anniversary website, apparently I just found out today, has shirts up. They're kind of like a Hawaiian style shirt, just with Transformer themed, right? They are $70 freaking dollars a piece.
Well, of course.
Are you out of your mind?
F that.
Yeah, I seen somebody post one up in one of the groups. I was like, "Oh, that's really neat. I really want one of those." Oh no, I don't. It's $70. Whoa!
You could buy like a few a couple more than a couple Transformers, depending on the size class. Jesus.
Wow.
Or a couple Children of Primus T-shirts that will be available at some time in the near future.
Yes.
Yeah.
Reminds me, I keep on thinking of, you know how Shinta has the half white. I've been thinking of like doing like a maximal symbol, have it black, and then I don't know, have some sort of other Transformer related symbol where the spade would be, or maybe just do the maximal symbol but do like the half spade on the on the one side of the face, like his face is. Maybe that'd probably be the easiest thing to do, and have that be my avatar.
Cool. Oh, this is funny that I'm going to share this.
Oh, God.
Nope. So this is the KO 40th anniversary Hawaiian shirt available for $17.95. If anyone really wants a shirt like that.
I can't. Yeah, I can't really.
And I'll
Oh, it says the 40 on
guarantee
it.
you,
Okay.
I'll almost guarantee you that where the buttons together, those won't line up.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's funny.
Okay.
I guess depending on where it's coming from, like I've got a big Forza Motorsport sweatshirt, you know, for the game, and when I ordered it, just some advertisement I saw on Facebook. They had good reviews, like everyone was saying that the stuff was quality, but geez, it took like 4 months to get it.
Oh,
Damn.
Yeah, because it came from China or something like that. But man, it was really high quality. I mean, it really looked good. Now I just regret spending the little bit of money on it that I spent, because I live in Florida and I get to wear it like twice a year.
The free inside says T-shirts are an easy sale. I sold out.
Yeah, we got to discuss that this evening.
Mm-hmm.
T-shirts.
My local T-shirts, because I like to keep the business local. Like for the cruiser stickers, I got somebody that gave me a really, really good deal on stickers, but the T-shirt shop just won't. No, they want a ridiculous amount of money, and I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Are you trying to get it silk screen or just printed?
They gave me some options, but there wasn't an option for less than $1,500, and there was still the 72 shirt minimum.
Yeah, that's
So
not cheap.
the shirt thing, the prices that I showed you there, those were 12 or higher. 12 shirt minimum is the order.
Okay, I could handle 12 shirts. The shop wants me to do 72. They're like the local shop to go to, and they do a fantastic job. I understand their stuff's like top shelf, but yeah, for just
And you don't want to be
starting
stuck
out,
sitting on 72 shirts.
yeah. That and you know.
Did you see that post I put with the prices and where
No, I
her
didn't see
breaks
it.
are? Yeah, it's on our group chat.
Okay.
She does real good work, and that's our local one here. Very
Okay.
cheap, and every fit, like if you get 72, if you go up to 100, you'll get another $1 off per shirt. Her breaks are at 50, and at 100. And then if you allow her to advertise on the sleeve cuff, like at Terry's Tees, with her website right there on it, everything, you get another $1 per shirt off. Yeah, so you can get them made. I'm not gonna talk about that. We'll keep that private because I don't know what you're gonna charge for them. So, but yeah, you can get quite a discount. That's what the shirts that we're getting made for the Sons of Carpentry shirts that I have made for my group of carpenters. Everything, I'm gonna have her do them this time, and we get our logo on the back, logo on the pocket, everything, and then we're also getting the pocket with a pencil pocket on the side of it because we're carpenters.
Nice.
And they're $6 a shirt cheaper than Evansville through her. Yeah, so I'm going to try her this time and see what happens.
Yeah, I didn't want to gouge my subscribers. I'm like super grateful if anybody buys anything that has to do with the merch from the channel. I'm like super grateful, and I want to pass that the savings along to them. I guess the cheesy way of saying it. But there's when I was talking to my local t-shirt guys, oh yeah, you can sell these shirts for like $30 or $40 a piece. I'm like, dude, who pays $30, $40 for a t-shirt?
Right.
From a small YouTuber,
Right.
I mean, I might pay that if it was like a really nice Transformer shirt or something, but I'm not going to pay it for one of my favorite YouTubers.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money for a YouTuber.
Who are they supporting? Your channel or the t-shirt store?
Well, yeah, that was the thing. They were trying to get me to. It's like, yeah, you can double the price on these. So they come out to about $15 a piece, but you can sell them for 30 or 40 a piece. I'm like, well, I don't want to sell them for 30 or 40 a piece. I can't sell them for 30, 40 a piece. It's going to cost me too many sales, especially in the beginning.
At that price, you can get your own press.
Yeah.
Well, since we're already on this subject, why don't we go ahead and close down for the night, and we'll continue it in private.
Exactly. That's
before you shut off, I know if anyone's pre-ordered the deluxe Insecticons Mayhem Attack Squad 2-pack, I know my pre-order for that, they just started charging the payment of that for mine's today, so I think it's going to be coming in the mail on the 24th.
That means they're shipping it out
8 days from now, so that would be something to keep an eye out on if that's something anybody else has pre-ordered. And then, since I know Dr. I'm thinking of, what is it you use your name as? This Dr. Frankenville or whatever? Deceptikitty, whatever that is.
Oh, Dr. Arkeville. Dr. Arkeville.
But, yeah, I know there's also Dr. Wu. They're going to be doing a Overkill and Slugfest cassettes. I saw that on Facebook, and the guy linked the pictures and told me what they were going to be called. I think I posted it in the news on the Discord. So,
right on.
Cool. Before we wrap up, Freakenstein says the place I got my black lab coat done at will do one shirt at a time if I want, for 13 front and back and 2 slide sleeves patches.
Canadian, by the way.
Canadian prices. So as we wrap up for the evening, Toy Warp vintage reviews. Anything coming up for the week?
Not for cruisers are going to be slowing down for the summer. I noticed that just less people watch during the summer. It's kind of hard to do too in this hot weather. For Toy Warp. If I can, I don't have the box handy. The Bigfoot Performance Center video should be coming out sometime on Toy Warp this week, and that's it for me.
Cool. Settenbach Arts, what's coming up for this week?
Trying to figure out if I'm going to some. Deceptikitty would know about this, being that he's Indian and white mix. Jasa Singh and Richmond, Virginia, some friends want to drag me to. I mean, that's where I'm from, but at the same time, I'm like, if I'm gonna be too busy to see any friends and family winning down there, it's just gonna feel awkward. Like, you know, I don't want to like respect one group of people, but not get respect to my home, like my dad. See my dad when I'm down there or something like that. So I'm debating doing that. That's sort of going to be dictating what I'll be doing the rest of the month. Pretty much is getting that all hammered out if I'm doing it or not. I know I finished that galaxy painting thing I was mentioning. Yeah, I think I went back into that and added some more detail to it. So hopefully I'll post the pictures of that to the SETTOM Arts Instagram and Facebook, hopefully. Probably Tuesday, I guess, and then see what I'm working on next this Tuesday.
Cool. And Mr. Magnus, what any words before we sign out for the evening?
No. Support local if you can. Beat me in collections if you can.
Well, Deceptikitty, what do you have coming up in the near future? The very near future.
More 3D printing this week. So yeah, it's a month away from TFCon, so I just want to make sure I'm as ready as possible. I know from experience that there's always things that gets forgotten or left behind, and then I have to wait a whole year before I get another opportunity to do it again. So yeah, this past week I was focusing a lot on 3D printing and designing stuff in my spare time. And yeah, I don't want to give up the steam now. So a lot of extra planning as much as I can for this convention upcoming. And yeah, just trying to keep afloat on top of that. Yeah, I'm going to hustle hard so that I don't have to work so hard at the con.
Which, as we're mentioning, we're going to be at a TFCon Toronto, which is July 14th and July 12th to 14th this year, which is in Mississauga, which is just to the west of Toronto. And we're going to be there. We're also going to be live streaming. So Deceptikitty will be there. Children of Primus will be there. And we're going to be there. Fear of Courage will also be there. So the whole gang will be there. We'll be selling things, doing a live stream, and just having fun. It's the whole point of everything, just having fun and meeting everyone and doing cool interviews. So
we're doing a panel too. That's great.
Yes, see, I almost forgot that, so I was hoping you remember. So on the Sunday evening, Deceptikitty is going to be doing a panel, which is going to be related to the video game that's going to be there. So that's we're slowly going to start promoting that, and actually just today I picked up an element that we're going to have at TFCon, which I will mention after we sign off. But thank you to you guys. I always appreciate you guys taking your time to hang out with us. And thank you to everyone in the comments. Always appreciate everyone that hangs out with us, comments and likes and subscribes and shares our videos, and not just ours, but everyone else in the description, everyone within our circle of friends, online friends, personal friends that we promote. Subscribe to everyone, comment, like the videos and everything. And as we always say at the end of every stream, to all our one.
To all I want.
To all I want.